Welcome to The Explainer. Look, if you're trying to get noticed online, you need to know that the ground is literally shifting under our feet. So today, we are breaking down the new rules for digital success. We're going to build the essential playbook for 2026.
Let's just kick things off with one number that kind of changes everything, 26%. That's how many searches now end without a single click. Think about that. People are getting their answers right there on the results page, which means the old ways we used to drive traffic, yeah, they're breaking down, fast.
And this isn't some far-off prediction about the future. No, this is happening right now. But why? Well, it's because the internet is just being flooded with this tidal wave of low-quality, generic content. It's making it harder than ever to find anything that's actually valuable.
There's actually a name for this stuff, AI slop. You've seen it. It's that content that sounds plausible, but when you really look at it, there's no unique value, no real human insight. It's just noise. And this has become such a huge problem that platforms like Google and YouTube are totally changing their algorithms to fight back.
So what's the big shift? It's what these platforms now reward. For years, it was all about total watch time, but that's out. The new North Star is viewer satisfaction, or VSAT. They're basically asking, did your content solve the user's problems so well that they stopped searching? That is the new game.
So, in a world where discovery is fragmented and algorithms are hunting for real, satisfying value, how in the world do you win? Well, the first pillar of our 2026 playbook is actually pretty simple. You have to become the definitive, most trusted answer in your very specific space.
And that's because search isn't just one place anymore. It's everywhere. It's happening on Google, sure, but also on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, even in AI chatbots like ChatGPT. Your audience is hopping between all these platforms just looking for the best possible answer.
So the winning strategy here is to build what we'll call a micro-niche moat. Forget being a generalist. You need to focus so tightly on a specific audience and their very specific problems. So for example, don't just teach baking. No, you teach sourdough baking for people in high-altitude climates. See? That level of focus makes you indispensable. It makes you immune to all that generic AI junk.
Now, it's really easy to see AI as the villain here. You know, the thing causing all this slop. But here's the twist. It's also an unbelievably powerful tool. And that brings us right to our second pillar, mastering the AI paradox.
The whole key is to stop thinking of AI as a replacement for you and start seeing it as a multiplier for your expertise. So don't let it write your final copy or make your big decisions. Instead, use it like the world's best research assistant. Have it generate first drafts, brainstorm ideas, and pull data that you, the human expert, then verify, refine, and bring to life.
You know, in a world that's getting filled with AI-generated perfection, your greatest advantage is your imperfection. It's simply being human. Things like live Q&As, showing your messy behind-the-scenes process, even talking about your failures, these are what we call proof of human assets. They build a deep, authentic trust that shiny AI content can never, ever replicate.
Okay, so once you've defined that micro niche and you've built that real human trust, what's the next step? Well, our third pillar is all about fundamentally changing the entire relationship you have with your audience. This quote just nails the new mindset perfectly. You have to stop chasing fleeting views and start building a loyal community that feels genuinely invested in where you're going. They're not just consumers anymore. They are your collaborators.
So how do you actually do that? You do it with something called the hybrid funnel. First, you hook new people with short, super helpful content, quick answers to their problems. But then you guide them deeper into your long-form content where you can really build that connection. And then, the final and most important step, you let that community guide what you create next, using things like polls and direct feedback.
And here's a critical tactic to make this all work. You have to respect the platform's ecosystem. Social algorithms, they want to keep users on their site. They literally punish content that tries to send people away to some external website. So the new rule is to capture their interest, get their info, and build that relationship right there on the platform where you first met them.
All right, so we've covered how to win at search, how to master AI, and how to build a real community. But listen, this playbook isn't just about playing defense and surviving. If you follow these pillars, you are actually positioning yourself for a massive, game-changing opportunity that is just now starting to emerge.
Just think about that for a second. What if language was no longer a barrier?
because the very same AI technology that's flooding the market with slop is also about to break down one of the biggest barriers in all of human history.
Get this. We're already seeing some creators getting 30 to 50% of their total views from AI-powered dubs in languages they don't even speak. Can you imagine that? Your expertise, your unique insight, suddenly available to a truly global audience almost instantly?
So, by mastering this playbook, by finding your niche, by proving your humanity, by building a real community, you're not just going to survive the wild shifts of 2026. You are positioning yourself to become a trusted global authority. The new goal isn't just to be seen, it's to be the definitive answer. So the only real question left is, what will you be the answer for?